Welcome back. You're listening to WUSB Stony Brook. You just heard a couple of songs off of Decompose from My Sword and Shield. I'm joined by two of the members of the band. How about you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about the band for people who may not know you?
Absolutely. I'm Devin.
I'm Dylan.
Also, thank you for having us back. It's been a little bit over a year since we were here, and so much has changed
we
since
released
then.
the first single from the new record here, too.
Yeah, and we released that one. We re-released it a couple times, different mixes, but I think that'll be the final one up there, though.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Again, how about you guys just share a brief history of the band and for people who may not know you?
Yeah, so we're a metalcore band, My Sword and Shield. We've been around and pretty much running for about 4 years. It started out as like the main four that we have in the band right now. Myself, Dylan, and Matt Fischetti, and as well as Vinny McGuire. I met Vinny and Matt over in music theory when I was in 10th grade, and they were in 11th grade in high school, and they were in, Matt was in Vigilantics at the time. Vinny wasn't in anything. We ended up just like jamming a little bit. Dylan was subbing in for drums for Vigilantics, and it kind of all the musical chemistry kind of just came together at that point, and we just started jamming and writing since then. And as you've seen over the past year and over the
several years, we've had members in and out. It just nothing. It was mostly like just trying to find the right members. We're finding the right sound with what we want. We're just along the way we've jumped through different sounds, different types of music, and we're just like slowly getting all the right people. Just recently we got or at least actually not even recently, about a year ago we got our newest drummer, Johnny Kaiser. He has been fantastic. He is basically a human machine on drums, and just he works on like the same wavelength as all of us. We have just a lot of chemistry with that, and it just it's been great.
So you guys, I believe at the beginning of September, I think it was July 30th actually, you played with a show of Makari and Wolf and Bear in Brooklyn. How did that show go for you guys?
I think that was one of my favorite shows that I've ever played. I mean, besides our headliner, which was an absolute banger. But I mean, like, just playing that type of show after playing a headliner, it's nice to come down and play with people that are, like, better than you, like, better musicians, better businessmen, and being able to watch and see what they do and kind of learn what they're doing. So it's kind of humbling just watching that go down and being able to talk to them. The guys in Wolf and Bear were so cool. Tim, the bassist, Gavin Dance, also bassist of Wolf and Bear. Absolute homie. The guys in Macquarie are very good. And their singer, Kyle Cizik, amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Andy Cizik.
Yeah.
And that was a great show. We also played with Indigos, which they headlined last year at AMH, and we played that show with Downside too. It might have been Ublu.
No, it's Ublu.
That was Ublu.
Yeah, Ublu and Dino Skate Park. Okay, yeah. And that was really great seeing them again. And that was a nice Monday night. And we have another Monday night gig coming up in October at Kingsland. We're waiting to get more details about that. So once we got all that straightened out, we'll be able to announce that.
So since we're on the topic of shows, I wanted to bring up Warped Tour and this being the last year. I know your whole band kind of went as a whole group to the last one at Jones Beach. So what's it like kind of going there for years and it being the last one?
It was pretty cool, but it was nice and sad at the same time, because we I mean, like, throughout the years of us going, like, it was sad seeing like less and less people go, and we were looking at the lineup, and the lineup was so stacked this year. We saw who did we see?
Wage War. Wage War was so good. Wage War was so good. They were it was absolute mayhem. Yeah. I know Matt and Johnny went in the pit for sure. And where did Vinny go?
Vinny he was with us, just like
that's right. Yeah. seeing them do Stitch and was it Don't Let Me Fade Away?
Yeah, Don't Let Me Fade Away.
So great. So great.
And I think...
And Alive, too.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard Alive, because I'd only just started delving into their most recent album, and I know the old stuff is very good, too.
Yeah, I think they're releasing kind of acoustic kind of versions of those songs. It's crazy how quickly they blew up.
Yeah.
I know. They've been around for like a little bit, and then they released the newest album, and then just like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We also saw, we saw Silverstein. Silverstein was so good, just as tight as we saw them last year. And let's see who else.
Ice Nine Kills.
Oh, yeah. Oh. With all the members.
Yeah.
Chelsea Grin, one of the members. I can't think of her names. I know Rory from Dayseeker came on.
They had both vocalists from Wage War.
Yeah.
And
the fill-in guitarist was singing a lot, too. Yeah. It's funny, he actually kind of looks like the singer, too.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's the same guy, right? But he just had, like, long hair.
Yeah.
And, who else did we saw Movements.
Yeah. Movements. Oh, my God.
Nice to see. We were just, I was going to Warped Tour, and, like a few days before, I'm just like, I need to get into more bands. Because, like, it's the last one I wanted to see more bands, and I just got into them, and I knew they were always good, but just...
The funny thing that day is that that was actually 2 days before our Macquarie show.
Yeah.
So we had to leave Warped Tour early to drive back and then drive all the way down to Deer Park to go practice at at Johnny's house. So it was almost like non-stop moving that day after doing Warped Tour, practice, go back. It was lugging gear left and right, but it was worth it. It was a very fun day.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get on the topic of merch and branding for your band. I got two kind of questions / I want like your opinions on it. But first was a person in Missouri got a tattoo of your lyrics.
Mississippi, actually.
Mississippi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Brandy Williams. She is a big fan of In Loving Memory, and I didn't really know her. And what happened was I went to the In Loving Memory show on May 4th at the Knitting Factory, and it was a couple months after I just filled in for their New Jersey and Revolution show with Vista. And so my name is kind of buzzing around their fan page that they have, but nothing really. And they introduced me to her at that show. And I saw her, we met, and she was awesome. She's very sweet. I didn't think anything of it, though. I didn't know that she'd go check out my band or anything. And so she hits me back up in, like, about maybe April or May. Actually June. Late June, yeah. And she hits me up and says, like, I love my student shoes. I love what you guys do. And she asked me to actually design a tattoo for her. But, like, as something as, like, a secret to keep from the rest of the guys, so then they come out. Because she met me first, and she wanted to just show, like, the rest of the band how much she cares and supports us. So I drew something up, and my brother comes downstairs, like, what are you drawing? I gotta tell him now. Can't keep anything. So...
You're just
I
in the dining room just drawing. I'm just like, I gotta ask.
Why are you drawing? You never drew before.
Yeah. Taking them art now. So I draw it up for her, and I sent it to her, and she ends up like texting the rest of the band, like, I've got a big surprise for you guys. Just like keep it a secret, and especially you, Devin. I'm just like, all right.
Okay.
So she ends up posting it, sending it to all the guys, and everybody's just dumbfounded. We're so thankful and like. Literally beyond words that somebody would actually get like an MSAS tattoo before even any of us got one. I was so like looking forward to getting an MSAS that like the flower coming down like this on my shoulder. But it looks so good on her. She got like another one on her rib right here from the note that we actually sent her, because we gave her like a little care package of merch that we sent down to her with like pretty much like one of everything that we have. And I wrote the note and sent it to her, and she got kind of, I wrote much love instead of sincerely, and she got that tattooed. So that's very like, I'm still in shock about it. It's so like nice of her.
So I think you guys now need to make a group appointment to the tattoo parlor.
And
we're getting matching tattoos now.
So the other piece of merch I wanted to talk about, but it came out a while ago, it came out in January, was the pop sockets.
Yes.
For the phone. So you made a whole commercial for it.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
So instead of just talking about Vos by themselves, I want to see if you had to make any kind of merch for you guys, any ridiculous product, what would it be?
Ridiculous product?
Like ridiculous MSAS product.
Let's see. I love chopsticks. I'm a big sushi guy.
Yo!
Oh, and swords! Oh, man, yeah. Sword, MSAS, chopsticks. Let's get it done.
I feel like we were thinking about this a few months ago. We were thinking about, like, some other, like, crazy merch to just...
Beer pong balls.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yes. MSAS beer pong balls. We do 2 with the MSAS logo on it, and then, like 2 black, and then 2 blue ones, like our shirts. With the big rose on it. Yeah. And then probably matching cups, too.
Yeah. So, if we can get the cups on there.
But for that, would you say the same identity of Steve Jeebs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd shave off the beard all over again. We'll have to do the same thing. Glasses, turtleneck, and everything. The turtleneck... Okay, so the...
there's a big story behind the
mustache. There's a very big story behind this. So, like, what happened was we were thinking of merch, and then we thought of doing the pop socket. So then we started doing the order, and then we were like, hey, like, this is like, an interesting... type of merch that nobody in the scene we've really seen before do it, or even like any bigger band. So we're just like, why not? And then we wanted to sell it fast, so and we got them at a really great price too. And we were like, why not make a commercial? And we've always, like, years ago when we were younger, we like toyed around with like recording different videos and stuff. And we're just like, why not? And then we thought of making an infomercial at the time. This is separate from the band. Me and Devin had a contest. We joined a fantasy football league with our guitarist Vinny, and we had a challenge between me and Devin, and whoever would lose would get a mustache, because we all wanted Devin to lose, so then he would look like Mario Camarena from Sean. And then I ended up losing. And I was supposed to get the mustache back in, like, December, but I waited so long.
We kept pushing it off. So
until, like, the first week of school.
We ended up just cornering him in Matt's house and just kind of, like, putting a buzzer to his face.
Yeah.
Kind of just forcing it all off.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had that, and then it was all amidst the commercial. I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to embrace this. And then we did the commercial. We made it. We made me a Steve Jeebs. The turtleneck I was wearing wasn't even like my turtleneck. It was Fisher's girlfriend's turtleneck.
I was hoping for a big story for the turtleneck. Like, how did you decide which one to pick?
We were looking. It was really crazy because like we were looking all around to find a turtleneck. We kind of did it last minute, and then Fisher's girlfriend Anastasia, she gave me a turtleneck, and I thought it would fit, and then I put it on. It went down to like my mid belly, and it's like. Is this gonna fit? And then I said, you know what? It doesn't even matter. I'm just
these are chest
shot from the chest
up shots.
And then we threw in the blooper, it's zooming out, and then it's like doesn't even fit. And just we made it. We wanted to make it more like infomercial based, make it funny and subtle, but like just throwing in just a lot of like meme humor and just Fish did a lot of the different zooms and slow-mos and all that. He's great. He can do anything.
Yeah.
So you guys were talking a bit earlier about kind of all the changes that the band's been going through, and one of the big changes a week ago was the announcement that Tom Ophelia was leaving the band. So right now you guys are having vocal auditions, and for what I've seen on your Facebook page, you've been getting a lot of those. So what's it like getting all this kind of support and people coming forward?
Actually, this is like the first time this has ever happened within the 4 years that we've been a band. We, of course, like we've had like we don't like to celebrate having a revolving door of members, but like that's just straight up. It's just always been like that. And about a year ago, when we were looking for drummers, well, once we lost Lewis, we were able to find Johnny just for the fact that like he used to be in Tim Simone's band, Dear Anonymous. So they were able to get that connect, and it fit so well. But of course, dropping Tom was
it wasn't an easy decision. Yeah. We were writing more and testing a lot of different styles, and we were deciding that we want to go heavy. And the more and more that we wrote, we wanted to keep Tom. We didn't want to let him go, but just like we're in need of a frontman that can also scream, because we have Fish, but at the same time, he's not, like, with the more complicated stuff that's coming, like, he won't be able to sing and scream at the same time. But then we would need a different vocalist, unfortunately.
And as far as getting the amount of, I guess, reach from saying that we were looking for new vocalists, people have actually been hitting us up first, which is the first time in the whole history of this band. So it's great that people are actually coming out.
It's been a huge help. Like, we don't plan on slowing down. We have plans to probably release something later this year. Nothing concrete on that, but
yeah, whether it be with somebody that's filling in, or we get people that actually just they just have their own vocal parts for that song just to make it so we can release it, even that's fine too. But as far as having a fill-in for right now for that show in Brooklyn, we haven't announced it yet, but I guess I'll just announce it now. We have a very good friend coming up, Naveed Stone from Loving Memory.
Oh boy,
filling in because he owes me a little bit since I filled in for John. So of course, like, he's a homie, he's coming in, and he was like the first person I would have thought of to have a fill-in, and I've always wanted to play with him again. So I'm really happy that he's coming through. He's a real workhorse, and we're gonna get that going in a couple weeks.
So what are you kind of looking for in in a new vocalist for the band? Yeah.
So actually, I was gonna. I'm glad you brought this up. I was gonna say we're always still looking for new vocalists, and as far as right now, not some sort of utility knife type person, which we want screams and cleans equally, but we're open to suggestions and seeing how if their voice is unique, we'd be really glad to see what they can do. We're really accepting people in terms of them sending us a vocal demo, because with how scheduling is right now, everybody's back in school. It's hard to get everybody down. We don't have enough time to actually try out all these guys, so we're definitely looking for people to actually, if they can, record themselves and come to us with it. And they can hit up the Facebook page, Instagram page, any of our personal accounts. Any way that they try to contact us is fine. And pretty much, we're looking towards direction musically, towards maybe North Lane, Wage for War. Just kind of something all around.
Okay.
Something more experimental, but not too poppy.
All right, so let's talk about the Decompose EP now, since we have 9 minutes left.
Yes. Yeah.
What was the demoing process like for this record, and deciding what songs were going to make the cut?
It's a really, really interesting question, because
we can cram down.
The songs that came on there were some songs were from last year, some songs were from 2 years ago when we were on hiatus, just writing, and some songs like How They Make It, that song, 2 years old. We got inspired writing that song after we saw Era Revolution with Born of Osiris, which was a awesome show. And then other songs like Make Your Move, Brand New Skis, and
Calling Me.
Calling Me.
That's that
code name. Damn it.
that's the code name for it. We keep referring about the code names.
I never make that mistake. I did it now.
Here we are, dog.
Calling Me, and then Come Over, and the rest of the other ones, Rebirth 2. Those were all made mid to late 2017, and a lot of the writing was pretty much done with when a lot of different members were coming and going in the band. We were judging between styles. We did this EP more as a resume. We're just this is everything we can do. We're able to do anything that we can, and it sets up a nice good stage for us, because then if we move in different directions, it's not too off, because we've kind of
covered all corners.
Exactly.
We found that when people listen to the EP, they'll find, most people love the entire the list. Some people will be like, I love How They Make It more. I love Rebirth more. I love Come Over more. Which is great but we're also looking to hone in on seeing not necessarily what everybody else likes, but we're also like kind of judging upon that in the direction that we should go.
Yeah. So like anything from now on, like, or anything coming up later this year, whether it be later this year or early to mid next year, our sound will be more centralized. We're gonna have a certain tone with it, and
pretty much the most honest like writing that we've ever done.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So you kind of mentioned a bit earlier with the rewriting of Make Your Move. Was there any other rewriting of songs? Kind of like you thought were finished, then you kind of went back to it and kind of changed things up.
Since the EP was released, or out of writing the songs?
As of like writing the songs.
Oh, yeah.
Some of, like you said, were made back in 2017, like early 2017, so before the EP was actually released.
The song that had, I think, probably the most changes would probably be How They Make It, because it was made so long ago, and like with that song, we never... Like, back then, we never made it to complete it. We kind of, like, we had, like, a whole, like, song library of different riffs and ideas. And that song, we had up to, like, a certain point, or, like, we had it in a different way. We never finished it. And then we finished it throughout 2017 and pushed it more forward. And then we progressed with our writing styles. And then we finished the rest of the song. And then took Devin 2 years to lay down the solo for that song.
Me and Matt kept going back and forth between going, who wants to do the solo? We both didn't know, because we'd make something and it just never came up. And then 2 days before, or at least, was it 2 days or a day before? I think 2 days before our last show with Lewis, we were just writing to it and kind of recording, and I ended up just coming up with the solo on the spot, and we were like, all right, that's it. Tracked it, and I played it like a couple days later, hoping to get it right, but it's weird like that. Sometimes you just get it the first time. Sometimes it takes a very long time just to get one part.
and then as far as any other rewriting, the rest that was pretty much rewritten was just drums on Make Your Move. We had a lot of fun recording drums that weekend with Johnny, just like testing the waters with everything. We banged it out pretty nicely in just a weekend, and
the whole EP the whole EP for drums was just a weekend. Yeah.
Was what were your personal most difficult sections to track on the record?
The lead, in that main lead thing for Rebirth took so long just to keep doing, because I had written it, but we were just trying to record it as soon as possible, so I it's so fresh in my mind, I was just trying to track it, and I kept having to retake it, and especially the second verse in Rebirth is actually a 3-4-4-4 bounce back. So it'll actually keep going between the two riffs that change time signatures. And it's a very weird type positioning too with the strings, because it's like a 4-string skip or pentatonic type thing. So we kept having to retrack that one part over and over and over again till we finally got it. It took at least like 3 or 4 times just to get it, but we kept going back until it was perfect, and we did.
So, what are some things on the record that you want to improve on for your upcoming material?
Definitely perfecting the recording techniques and streamlining the whole process for next time. We went in a little blind, just kind of knowing that it needed to be finished. But we kept discovering new techniques and how to record ourselves better through the entire process, and it just got better as it ended. So with Matt going back to his last semester at SUNY Purchase, we'll be figuring out the best possible ways to record the next piece of material or pieces.
And also with Johnny, when we first started recording the EP, we kind of picked up Johnny. We had Tom for the year prior to that too, so he was making lyrics, and we already had the songs done, and then we kind of just said, hey, like you guys are on the team, just put your parts and go. And then we didn't really write through that. So then now that we started writing new material with Johnny, we started delving into different types of writing processes, and just we're starting to actually like jam stuff and like write in a live setting rather than just sit in front of a computer. We've been doing a mix of it, but it's been pretty crazy. Devin and Fish they spent a day writing. They banged out a whole song.
Yeah, which we haven't done in like 3 years. Which for some reason, I don't know what's going on now, but we're all having like a real big epiphany moment that like we could write. Like, it doesn't really matter what musical direction that we go to. We just need to keep remembering that it's us that's writing this. We can't be thinking like, oh, it's not us, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, we wrote this. Let's just follow our hearts and our minds in terms of the musical direction that we want to hit. And there was another thing that I wanted to say too. In terms of recording, like whether like we're just spending our time knowing, we're spending our time making sure that we get the product that we want. Whether it take a song like a month or like a day, like it doesn't matter as long as it sounds good to us. And as long as it sounds good to us, then we're just gonna keep moving forward.
All right.
And,
Well, we're pretty much out of time, so how about I didn't get to some questions, but we got to talk a lot about the record for Decompose. Make sure for the people out there to go check it out. Where can people keep up to date with you and see where you're playing, where to find your music and all that stuff?
That'll be all music's on Spotify, iTunes, even Google Play. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and we even have the whole